All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Brian, and this is AAMI News and Conversation. I'm here today with a special guest during Sterilization Standards Week. We're on day 2, and I'm with Horlando Cintron, who is one of our co-chairs of a working group 61, that is Chemical Sterilants Hospital Practices Working Group. Is that right?
That is correct.
All right. And why don't you tell us who you are? What do you do?
All right. So, hi, everyone. My name's Horlando Cintron, and I am manager of perioperative support services and sterile processing within Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. I am also president-elect from New Jersey Healthcare Central Service Association, and we provide continuous education to a membership of 400 plus members. We are a subsidy of HSPA, if you will. I've been in the healthcare industry for about 25 years, championing our infection control practices within CPD, and it's a pleasure to be here today with you.
Oh, I'm so glad to be talking to you. And I know, that experience, that background, that leadership, that's helping kind of lead the group in a lot of different exciting projects. But the one I really want to talk about today is a new technical information report coming out of your group. It just started, right? You just formed the group.
That is correct.
So I want to dive a little bit into what that's all about. And I have in my notes here, it is Technical Information Report 121. I don't think we have a name for it yet. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
With the focus on low-level disinfectant and intermediate disinfectant of patient care equipment that is not processed within central processing, if you will.
Now that's interesting to me because I personally don't really know the difference between, say, low-level disinfection and high-level disinfection. But let's step even further back for a second and just establish we're talking about disinfection, not reprocessing, not sterilization. Is that right? What's the difference there?
We're referring to Spaulding's classification. We have non-critical devices that do not touch patient care. Doesn't enter the body, if you will. We have semi-critical devices, which are devices that come in contact with mucous membrane and non-sterile areas of the body. And then you have those critical devices that come directly in contact with the bloodstream and are inside the cavity of the body. And so these devices that we're referring to, we're not talking about devices, tables, chairs, the area that surface areas, if you will. We're talking about EKG machines. We're talking about infusion pumps.
Okay. Crucial devices you'll find in a patient room,
that
right?
you use within the patient care setting.
I see. Okay. That's very interesting. And of course, those need to be clean. Those need to be sterile or not sterile, right?
Correct.
That's the distinction
That's
here.
the distinction for sure.
Okay. And in most cases, these devices are not sent down to a reprocessing department to be cleaned. Is that right?
Well, so the practice has been for many, many years that these devices do come down to sterile processing, and sterile processing are trained technicians that understand what the instructions for use or the manufacturer's instructions for use guidance are, and what type of chemicals are needed to clean these devices, right? So those devices used to come down, and in many healthcare settings are still coming down. But I think there's a change in the industry where these devices are now staying within patient care floors, if you will. They stay and live within the bedside. They go from a patient that's using it to a soiled room. And then there needs to be some guidance on, from that soiled room, how are we taking these devices, processing these devices, and given the knowledge needed of what those employees need to achieve low-level and intermediate disinfection.
So this is guidance for the healthcare personnel who used to not have to worry about this, or you just didn't know how to think about it. And we want to provide that level of guidance, a technical information report that will give them a rigorous understanding of what they're doing every day.
Absolutely. We see the need, we see the change in practice, And there's many components to the change in practice.
Yeah, what is driving
And
that?
we can say, COVID, if you will,
Mm.
um, caused some changes. Devices not being readily available, um, back orders of equipment that are needed as our patient volume grows within the healthcare system. We definitely identify the need that these devices can be disinfected within the patient care area without a risk to employees or the patients, right? More importantly.
Yeah,
And as these practices have changed within these healthcare settings, we're trying to bridge the gap and understand that if guidance is not readily available, um, hospital-acquired infections can increase, right? And so there's an infection control component of it, if you will, and understanding that um, guidance needs to be there, and we see the gap.
I see. So at the end of the day, we're really talking about devices that are going to be found in a patient's room that tend to, they can be disinfected within that area. They don't have to go all the way back down to the sterile processing room. And that in turn means that they're more available more often, so we can use them for, they're more available for patients.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've run across the critical need. We know that the healthcare systems, many of them are stressed. And so, in bridging this gap and in bringing this guidance out there, we're given opportunity for healthcare institutions to take back to their current workflows and practices, and how are we achieving it? I think within sterile processing, if you will, and the operating room, we do an amazing job. We've been doing it for many, many years. We understand the terminal cleaning of patient care equipment,
Mm.
and we understand the need for to assure that you're following manufacturers' instructions for use, and bringing this to an area or a group that is moving at fast pace. And I think post-COVID, we see a shortage in staff, and you have many employees trying to do the right thing. And we're just seeing that there is a need to give them more guidance and help
Yeah.
to make sure that they're doing it to the most effective process for that patient.
Well, that sounds really important and really helpful for the industry as a whole. I love the idea of, that these people have patient safety in mind. They want to make sure these devices are available to the patients as soon as possible. And we're going to help them keep patients safe while keeping that availability going, keep the flow.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. What's the next step for the group? I know work just started. Is there a call for people to join, or do we have established a good group going forward?
Right. So it's a new work item
Yeah.
proposal. It has just come into practice. There is a small group initially started, but to answer the question, yes, there is a call. If you're in the healthcare setting and you have the expertise that could help guide us and drive this initiative in the steps that provide that guidance to healthcare institutions, we welcome you. We want you to reach out to AAMI standards and, um, you know, give them your name and bring them forward. I think that currently we do have a great group established, right? We have APIC, we have HSPA, we have industry and manufacturers in the group already starting on the work items. But we always could use more. And I think that, the more minds that get together, that talk about some of the practices that they've been able to achieve, helps drive this document, faster and out there to the people that really need it.
That's perfect. Awesome. Well, Orlando, it's been great talking to you. I'm looking forward to the next steps of this document. I can't wait to see it come out and have an impact on the industry, a really positive impact. But I'll let you get back to work because we have a whole rest of the week to go.
I appreciate your time and thank you for having me.